This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Welcome back, everybody, to Wrestling Omakase. It is episode number 152, and this week I am very pleased to be joined by a brand new guest. Hello, Sylvi.
Hi, happy to be here. Happy to talk about some dudes slapping the crap out of each other.
Yeah, that really was the theme this week, I think.
Yeah, but you asked for a taste of what the wrestling that I'm into, and that involves a lot of dudes hitting each other.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Shibata in a bit. It's fine. You get it.
He's all over this episode, so for sure.
As he should be.
Yeah, but definitely. I think you and I mean, one of the things I guess I've noticed over the years, I think you and I have a lot of the same favorite wrestlers, so
yeah, at least with New Japan, because I know you branch out more, but I'm kind of more just a New Japan viewer. I can't really I watch some Stardom World now and then as well, but I can't really keep up with more than one promotion at a time. But yeah, I know we're both the big Naito stans on my timeline.
Yeah.
And then Shibata, and you're a big Ishii fan as well, right?
I'm probably not as big as you, but
okay.
I do.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Yeah. But Hiromu,
because he's my dad.
But we both love Hiromu.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we like a lot of the same wrestlers, and so I think that kind of worked out for this week's picks. It also is an all New Japan episode, which we haven't had one yet since we started. So very normie.
You're welcome.
Very normie, but
I was so worried about being the most normie person on here. I was debating whether or not I couldn't I was trying to find I think I'm gonna fucking fuck up his name now and expose myself as okay, no, I got it. I had it right. I shouldn't have second guessed myself. There was that Masashi Takeda death match that got really big buzz last year that I really liked. I can't remember who he was wrestling though, so I couldn't find it for this. That would have been me trying a little harder to be cool, but I decided not to.
It's I'm sure this will probably do better numbers than some of the episodes that had all these indie dudes no one's ever heard of, so
yeah.
It works out. Before we get into, I guess, the matches and everything else going on, I wanted to quickly plug the Wrestling Omakase Patreon. I'll try to keep it short since I've been doing it every week for a month now, but it's a great time to sign up. If you're listening to this on Monday the 29th when it's going up, don't sign up, because you'll get charged $5, and then you'll get charged $5 again 2 days later. So wait until Wednesday. Wait until July 1st. You'll pay your $5. You'll get access to everything we did in June, which is, we did 9 episodes covering every Okada Tanahashi match in order. We're more than halfway done with that, so that'll continue into July. But if you weren't signed up in June, you get access to all those episodes, the moment you sign up. We did 2 full exclusive 5-match episodes of Omakase with Rich Cage from the Voice of Wrestling flagship, and with Alan Cunahan, Alan for Al from the PW Torch. Those are both up there just for patrons. And again, if you sign up, you'll get those. We did a New Japan Cup pick'em. We did 2 episodes of Anime Omakase. The second one just went up on. I forget how much you watch anime. I think you watch a decent amount. Right?
I'm also like, I have a weird taste in anime. Okay. I consider myself kind of a weeb, but I don't watch enough anime to really actually pass the smell test.
Have you ever seen the show Sakamoto Desuka? Haven't you heard of Sakamoto?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that's the second thing we covered. It just went up a few days ago, which was fun. It's like a kind of like this. It's like a high school comedy type of show. So
yeah, okay,
very fun show. So my girlfriend Nicole and I, we talk about that show. We break it all down for you and discuss which episodes are worth watching and which ones aren't worth watching. So if you need to get through 12 episodes even faster, that might be a good way to do it. So we have those 2 anime omakases up there, and then July we'll have even more content. We'll finish up the Okada Tanahashi series. We'll start another series covering every match in order. You'll be able to vote on which match series we cover. So the options are going to be like all involving Naito. It'll be either Naito Ishii, Naito Okada, Naito Tanahashi, or Naito Ibushi. So if you're a patron, you'll be able to vote, and then you'll get to follow that along with us, which should be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of hoping people pick Naito Ishii. I really want to watch those matches again.
Those 2 have such good chemistry.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
I would also be fine with Naito Tanahashi too, but
yeah,
the people will decide. So we'll see.
Exactly.
But yeah, so if you're a patron, you'll get to vote on that during July. We'll have 2 more 5 matches episodes, which seems like a good time to point out that if you're listening to this now and you love these 5 matches episodes, this is going to be the last one on the free feed for a while. So Sylvi, you're like closing it out here. Yeah, you're closing it out here. But next week we're going to go back to covering more like current wrestling, since there's actually going to be shows for fans again in Japan, where a country that has actually dealt with the coronavirus, unlike America. I don't know how Canada's doing, but
it's weird. We're also starting to reopen, and it feels a little early, but I think we're doing it better than America.
Yeah, it's a real fucking low bar. So
yeah, exactly.
It is very weird being in New York because things actually are kind of chill here now. They actually the virus cases are really, really low, and they've been very slowly reopening, and then you look at the news and it's like, oh, the entire rest of the country is on fire. That's good. I'm sure that won't spill over here eventually.
Yeah, totally. Not gonna happen.
But yeah, so I interrupted my page on my own Patreon plug. But yeah, so if you like the 5 matches episode, starting next week on the free feed, we're gonna be covering more 2020 stuff. So the 5 matches episodes will continue, but they'll be on the Patreon. So if you like these episodes, sign up on July 1st. You'll get at least 2 of them during July, exclusive to the Patreon. So it's patreon.com/wrestling omakase. $5 a month. You get all that good stuff. So definitely check us out. And like I said, I will feel really bad if anyone signs up on Monday or Tuesday. Wait until July 1st. I don't need double your money. Just give me...
it's like a little tip, Maybe they're just trying to show that they appreciate the work you've been doing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, just my advice to you, if you don't know how Patreon works, sign up on Wednesday. Anyway, so let's transition over, to what's been up lately. How are things going up there in Canada?
It's, it's weird because I am currently looking for an apartment with my partner while there's a pandemic going on. So that's been, really weird and stressful.
Are they only doing, those, virtual tours?
No, some places are doing in-person stuff, but it's all, 6 feet away. You have to be wearing a mask. You have, disinfecting your hands all the time, shit like that. Mm-hmm. They are doing a lot of precautions because, they're trying to show that the place that you're going to be moving doesn't have the virus as well, I think.
Yeah.
But we should hopefully know about something by the time this episode's up, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, I hope that where are you guys looking?
We're looking in sort of the Toronto's gay village area.
Okay.
Because it's close to my doctor, and we're just looking for somewhere a little safer for the 2 of us.
Gotcha. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not moving during pandemic. That sounds rough.
Yeah, I know a few people who are doing it, and all of us have pretty much said, don't, you shouldn't. It's not a good idea.
Can I ask you about something else, by the way?
Please.
I wanted to ask you about Gundam Wing, because I
God.
heard you on, oh god, what's the name of that Patreon?
The Great Gundam Project.
Yes, the Great Gundam Project. I couldn't remember it's called something else. But I think you did, episodes 1 and 2, right?
No, I was episodes, I think I was 3 and 4.
Okay.
I was pretty early, but no, Austin Walker, who's on Friends of the Table with me, was episode 1 and 2 for them.
Okay.
I think that's also free on YouTube.
So
They're friends, I have to plug them.
They're awesome, so definitely plug in. Their Patreon, much better value than mine. It's only $1 a month, so I have to give them the credit for that. But the Gundam Wing project, it's like, I haven't listened to all of the Gundam project because there's some shows like I can't listen to Double Zeta because I've never watched Double Zeta, but I wanna watch it eventually.
My problem is I want to listen to, I don't want to go back to the beginning of it because I haven't watched original Gundam yet. That's like a big gap in my viewing because it's hard to find.
I never watched the TV series either. I've watched some movies, but
I've heard from some people the movies are fine, and then I've heard some people be like, oh yeah, no, just watch the show. Just it changes it too much. It's weird, so I don't know. I'm probably gonna watch the original one sometime, and then check out it's called Gundam: The Origin, right?
Yes, that's it's like the pre Gundam OVA, which I saw. Yeah. I haven't seen all of it, but I saw an episode of it at Anime Expo last year. Actually, the premiere of it, it was really awesome. But yeah, Austin Walker, he's cool. I saw him at Anime NYC last year when he was hosting the panel with Tomino, and I've never seen somebody it would be like if I was hosting a panel with Naito, I guess. That was basically it.
Just someone who knows their shit really well.
But also is almost looks like they're gonna faint. Because
big fan for sure.
Yeah. So it was very, I don't know if cute's the right word, but it was.
I really hope you can host a panel with Naito someday. Just awesome. Really quick, I want to just put that into the air for you.
I got to host a panel at Anime Boston with the director of Gundam Wing, which is kind of cool. But yeah, and he was very, very nice. So I think that's my biggest celebrity panel I've ever hosted at a con.
Yeah, never. I've only done tiny bits on panels. I've never done an actual panel.
I've done mostly lots of fan panels, but then 1 year Anime Boston, they were running very low on I guess people to help out with the guest panels, so they just started asking random fan panelists if they could help, and I don't know how I got that Gundam Wing gig, but it was pretty good.
Why not though? Good for you.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, Gundam Wing's awesome. I don't know why people
love it.
People really, there's some people out there that really hate it, and I don't really get it.
I think I have theories on that. I think one is it's because the dub is so silly, and people kind of just remember that from
I love the dub though.
I love the dub, but it is very silly, and I feel like that's most people's memory of it. That was mine of it for a while.
Yeah,
and also, when a series tends to be liked more by the girl members of a fan base, for some reason the general attitude towards that series tends to go down. It's weird how that happens. But yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is I feel at least to me, some of the Gundam fans I knew in high school, they thought it was a little too gay, which is not a problem. That's the best part of it.
I kind of agree. I think that's probably a large part of it. And the hate for Relina has always been kind of, I don't know, very... Yeah,
there's always been some weirdness there, especially because she is a really fun character.
Yeah, she gets actual character development, which lots of women and lots of mech shows don't really get. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I mean,
I don't know why that she has to be so she. People really focus on the fact that she yells that one time for Hiro to come kill her, and if you
Great
want to,
line,
it's a
also.
it's a great line. But that's like in episode, I don't know, like episode 8 or something, and she has an entire character arc for the rest of the series, and she ends up queen of the world. I mean, it's a little, I don't know, it's not really,
Yeah.
it doesn't really sum up her character. But
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I need to finish my rewatch. I've been trying to like keep up with their show, so like.
I'm sorry if I spoil. I'm sorry if I kind of spoiled you on something you forgot about.
It's fine. I've seen it before.
I know,
Like,
but
it's just like nudging a memory.
yeah, she ends up queen of the planet Earth, which is one of the.
You know what? Good for her.
Yeah, but yeah, it's. I mean, they're. The only, like, minor flaws I have with the show are, like, all stuff that nobody ever talks about. Like, I don't know, White Fang is kind of stupid, and the last little arc at the end isn't the greatest, but, you know, I don't know. It's still a really awesome show. And it's one of those shows that, like, really, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably very biased towards, because I probably wouldn't be a fan of any of this stuff without it, but, you know, it's, I think it deserves the popularity it gets. But
yeah, and I'm hoping that like there is sort of I feel like, I don't know, it probably is just the echo chamber of my Twitter timeline, but I do feel like the positive reactions to that show are sort of increasing as time goes on.
I think people are reevaluating it and stuff, so
yeah.
But you know what show does not deserve to be reevaluated positively is Gundam Seed.
No, not at all.
Which can go fucking sell. I hate that fucking show.
I couldn't make it through that.
Oh, God. So, Original Seed is bad enough and also very misogynistic. But...
that was... sorry, I just want to make sure. Seed was the one where they were trying to do the, like, team of 5 pilots again thing.
No,
right?
that's Double O.
That's Double O, okay, yeah.
Double O is great.
I get those two mixed up a lot.
Double O is great. I love Double O. I mean, the second season is not anywhere near as good as the first, but it's good. Seed is the one where it's basically just a remake of the original, and I don't know, except with like more teen drama thrown in, and the Flay character is very problematic, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it's just a. I mean, Original Seed is a bad show that, like, I think some people really like, and then Seed Destiny, the sequel, is like, honestly, maybe the worst anime I've ever seen. It's really like it's so bad it makes Seed worse in hindsight, kind of. So, like, Seed Destiny is really awful.
That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, I have finished a lot of shows that I didn't like, and I could not finish Seed Destiny because it's just so it is so awful. But
okay, well, I'm gonna skip that one then.
Yeah, don't watch either Seed if you've never seen Original Seed either.
Yeah,
it's pretty terrible. But that's why I'm kind of looking forward to when the Gundam Project people get up to that one. I will listen to them without watching that show again. I just want to hear what they think of it, and I am definitely not.
You know what? I am actually very curious to know what they think of some of the later era Gundam stuff, because it's sometimes it hits and sometimes it really, really, really misses.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna try to watch along with them on that one. They can have fun. they're getting my $1 a month to sacrifice themselves by watching Seed.
God.
But anyway, so let's get into these wrestling matches. First of all, Tomohiro Ishii versus Katsuyori Shibata from New Japan Pro Wrestling on August 4th, 2013 in the 2013 G1 Climax. This is your first pick, and I usually tell people to, like, you know, introduce the match and why you picked it, but this is kind of is famous. Yeah, it's a real needs no introduction match.
The reason I can say why I picked it, at least, and it's like, this is like, this is just like condensed, this is like what I like from wrestling. It is basically that Big E video of him talking about wanting to wrestle Goldberg, the two slabs of meat slapping together. But it's also like one of the first New Japan matches I ever saw. Like, this is like the second or third New Japan match I saw. The first one was an Ibushi versus Shinsuke match, I think from the same tournament.
Yeah, 2013.
And which was also really good, but I wanted to be like happy about my New Japan nostalgia, so I kept Shinsuke out of my picks. Because it's too sad to think about.
We've covered him a lot on this show, so it's not.
I bet.
Yeah, it's okay.
He used to be great.
He used to be awesome.
But this is also like, when I was like trying to figure out a way to like describe this, because I was like trying to think of like a quick, easy way to sort of sum up the appeal of this match, and this entire match is a guitar solo. You know what I mean?
That definitely works, that metaphor.
Like pretty much like this is the one where right from the beginning they just leap at each other and start knocking the shit out of each other, and it is like you could just put like the Devil May Cry 5 soundtrack underneath this or something. Like this feels like two men trying to murder each other, which is a very cliche thing to say about like Japanese wrestling, I find, because they chop louder tends to be the reason why people say that. But with this one, Shibata's literally got, like, towards the end, Ishii in a chokehold, and Ishii's like spitting up just like nondescript, just like weird phlegm while this guy's choking the life out of him. It's like almost scary at times, and that's what I love about it. Well, it's what I love about Shibata too, and like I said, we'll probably talk about him a lot today.
Yeah.
But this like I immediately just fucking like got these guys.
You talked about the
motherfuckers.
You talked about the start of the match, and like the greatest part to me is like they look like they're in an Olympic track and field race or something. Like they're both leaned over and they're getting ready. They're waiting for the gun. And then the bell rings. They just fucking charge right at each other. And the crowd just goes completely crazy.
It does so much for it because it like from the fucking get-go, the entire crowd is just like vibrating with this energy when they see how these guys are. And it like they just managed to kind of keep that consistent throughout this. It is very short, which I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, it doesn't really feel like they like lose them at any point. You know,
I mean, I don't think it's an overstatement to say that's the best start of a wrestling match ever. I think it's just so
probably
great. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they just beat the fucking piss out of each other. At one point early on, Shibata, like, he boots Ishii down with, like, the running big boot, and then just, like, kicks him like he's a horse as he's falling the mat.
Oh my god. There is so much just, like, Shibata... The shit that he does to Ishii with his feet in this match is so violent.
Yeah.
Like every time one of these guys got into the corner, I basically had to brace for impact because someone was gonna get either like a really hard lariat or a like boot to the face.
Yeah.
Or I think I don't remember. So I had to watch this on the New Japan app because it's the only thing I have it on other than my computer, and my bedroom is way too hot to spend 5 hours watching wrestling in. It wasn't 5 hours. That's way too. Anyway, so I don't have a ton of notes, so I might occasionally mix up things that happened in the other Shibata match here.
I have a lot of notes. It's okay.
Terrible.
I can let you know if you've got anything.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's a really famous scene early on where like Ishii, he like keeps screaming in Shibata's face while Shibata is like elbowing the shit out of him, and like as he's going, he's basically like the movie monster that won't die, and he just keeps screaming, and then finally he slumps down to the corner, which like by the time Shibata is not the heel here, but like he is being so brutal in this corner that the crowd actually starts booing him, which is
I think that is actually kind of one of the cool things about this match is that like the response to it becomes so organic because the story is just a fight. Like you said, like the audience just reacts because Shibata's being so violent.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like that. I've recently, as I've become more jaded with wrestling, I realized that I like it more when they tell the story by hitting each other as opposed to doing big faces at the camera.
Yeah.
And Shibata was the master at that, and I miss him.
The faces at the camera wrestling, aka NXT. The
Gargano special.
The Gargano special.
I was honestly thinking of Omega, if I'm being honest, but that might be a little too mean.
That is another face of the camera wrestler. Although, I will be fair, I have not seen a Kenny Omega match in like 6 fucking months, so he could be doing UWFI for all I know at this point. Like, so
yeah,
I can't tell you what he's doing.
I think it seems more like watered down PWG tag matches from what I can tell.
Yeah.
But again, I'm mostly just going off gifs.
Yeah.
AEW fans, please don't bully me online.
Those people, the AEW fans, do not listen to the show. Don't worry.
Good,
because they've heard me bury them enough, probably. But yeah, so no, trust me, I've long since run off those people. Don't worry.
that's fine.
But yeah, there's like a really awesome spot where Ishii tries to hit Shibata with his own penalty kick, which really just seems to really piss Shibata off. As he he like catches Ishii's foot coming in and then absolutely levels him with a lariat, which it's hard to call a lariat Ishii's move, but it kind of is.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Like his finisher, even was like a lariat for a long time.
Yeah.
Like the sliding one, right? Kind of used it, and he kind of used it interchangeably in tournaments with like the Brainbuster.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
But like, there is something of like there when Shibata catches his foot after that kick. There's like. You know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right? I feel like I don't need to even ask.
I've only watched like 10 episodes, I would believe it or not.
Really? For some reason, I got it in my mind that you were like more familiar with it.
Yeah.
You know the like menacing like characters that show up behind guys when they do something, right?
Sure.
In JoJo.
Yeah.
It basically just reminded me of that. Like there's just like a dark aura coming off of Shibata as he's ready to murder Ishii.
Yeah, he's really mad. There's like a big German suplex that Shibata hits on him and like drops him right in his head, but Ishii of course no sells it and hits his own. But Shibata also no sells. But there's a great moment where so Shibata no sells it, but almost like Ishii is ready. Like he immediately drops him with this gigantic lariat, and it's almost like, I know you're gonna no sell this fucking German suplex, asshole.
It's just like two fed up motherfuckers that are like, this asshole is gonna get right up right after this suplex.
It's like, I know you're not gonna sell for me, but yeah. He then basically just tells Shibata to like hit him again as they both get back up, and they trade these elbow strikes. And Shibata, puts him down with this big middle kick, but Ishii kicks out at one. And Shibata hits the rope with a PK, and Ishii just kills him with another lariat, but Shibata kicks out at one as well. And you can hear Nogami on commentary just screaming, count to one over and over and over again. It's
my god, Nogami during this match is great. I don't speak Japanese, so I mostly just get it when the crowd is yelling or the few phrases I understand. But like, I worry about like his throat after this match. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, he's pretty fired up. So there's like yet another elbow exchange, and then Ishii just kind of screams at him to hit him again, and then Shibata hits a sick headbutt, which I wish he wouldn't have done the headbutts. Obviously.
Oh god, that is one of those things where it's like watching this back when he does the headbutt. I'm like, don't.
Yeah. And then Ishii goes for the brainbuster. Shibata counters with his own sick headbutt. Both guys collapse, and they do the big double knockout tease. But both guys get back up, and Shibata immediately grabs him in a headlock from behind. And that's where we get, you talked about this earlier, the spitting up spot.
Oh, it's so gross.
It's really gross, but it's really great. Because,
it's fantastic. He looks like a big evil baby.
That's great. A big evil baby. It's a great way to put it.
It's true, though. Like, he's spitting up.
It's true. He's like, just, baby's got to spit. But yes, Ishii, he makes the ropes. Shibata kicks him. Ishii, you'll be shocked to learn, no sells his kick and hits an enziguri. And you'll be shocked to learn Shibata also no sells it. Hits a dive. He hits this like fucking. I wrote down diving knee attack, but it's not like a diving knee attack like you see in wrestling. It's more just like he throws his fucking knee at this man's head.
Yeah,
it looks like he's just fed up. He's like, sell something. It's like.
It's so sick. It's so good.
And then he hits another middle kick. Ishii gets up and immediately hits a huge lariat for another 1 count. Another huge lariat, but Shibata kicks out too. And then Ishii finally gets the brainbuster and, gets it for the pin. It's the perfect finish because Shibata, he gives it everything he has right until the end, but just keeps coming up the tiniest bit short from that last flurry. And like you said, this is a pretty short match. I think it's only 11 minutes, right? 11.
Yeah, very short. I think I think bell to bell it's 11, 10 minutes or something. I think the video on New Japan World's 13, 14.
So, I've seen this match by now about a trillion times, and it's always a perfect 5 stars from me.
It never gets old.
Yeah. I don't know if you're a star rating person or not, but it's definitely a 5-star match for me.
I used to be. I'm way more lenient about it now. I'm just yeah, that was sick. 5 stars. Yeah. I'm I don't really get precious about it.
Yeah.
But that's one where even if I was talking to people who are really particular about it, I feel they wouldn't get mad at me for saying this one's a fucking classic.
I've seen some people be oh, it's too short to be 5, but it's fuck off.
Those people love Kenny then. That sounds like the type of people who love some Kenny Omega.
They really want to watch a 45-minute match.
Feature-length film. They want to watch fucking Avengers Endgame in a wrestling ring.
But yes, for 2 guys just beating the absolute shit out of each other and having the big, mean, tough guy match, this is the masterpiece of the genre. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
I totally forgot, by the way, until I scrolled down that our next match is Kenny Omega.
Yeah, no, we're making fun of him. Kenny Omega. It's a great match that he's in. He does great in this match. I'm about to say a lot of nice things about Kenny Omega.
But I totally forgot, and we've been owning him all this time.
It's hard not to. He's the gamer wrestler.
He is the gamer. That is true. Do you know what we just talked about this this came up a lot on the Super J-Cast Discord the other day. Do you remember the nickname he gave himself after he won the 2016 G1?
Oh no, I don't.
Okay, you got it.
Don't remember this.
You need to be. You might want to sit down for this one. We've covered this on Omakase before, but I just had to give it to you. The Shin Nihon Shawn Michaels.
No!
He said that out loud at a fucking...
How can a man be this cringe?
He said that out loud at a New Japan press conference. He looked in the camera and said, "I'm the Shin Nihon Shawn Michaels." So, that's Kenny Omega.
I don't like him.
But yeah, I'll let you... Sorry, I think I stepped over you. Final thoughts.
I had one last thing, which was just this. I watched this match when I was getting back into wrestling from when I was I watched WWE when I was a kid, and then I stopped for a while, and I started watching it again during the Daniel Bryan run, and then I stumbled across this during that, and it ruined, it fucking ruined the WWE for me.
Yeah.
I wish I could once again experience the feeling of seeing this for the first time after having to watch fucking God, what else was on? Because that was, aside from the Daniel Bryan stuff, because I'm going off that WrestleMania, because that's this time frame I have. Uh-huh. Aside from that, garbage show all around.
I don't remember anything. What was 2013 WWE?
So I watched this. I watched this a year later. I saw it on YouTube. Actually, I probably caught it on Dailymotion or RooTube. Shout outs. But WrestleMania 2013 was the one where twice in a lifetime, The Rock versus John Cena again, which even worse than WrestleMania 30.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I honestly I don't know.
You shouldn't.
I don't know anything about WWE. I mean, look, I could tell you chapter and verse everything that happened in WWE up to 2007, and then everything after that is just one big blur.
That's kind of pretty much what happened to me with 2014, 2015. I casually watched it up until a few 2018, I guess, ish. It got it was more just a social thing at that point. Anyway, fucking, I can't remember shit about it aside from Bray Wyatt's in a Korn music video now. That's apparently it.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go to the second.
Let's get back to good wrestling.
Yeah. Tetsuya Naito versus Kenny Omega from New Japan Pro Wrestling on August 13, 2017. But it's like I said, I totally forgot that that this is like I totally forgot that I picked the Kenny Omega match while we were like brutally owing Kenny Omega.
To be fair, your reasoning for picking this match that you gave me did not involve Kenny Omega at all.
Yeah.
It was, why don't we watch Naito win a tournament?
Yeah, it was basically like, look, once you gave me your picks first and you went All New Japan with your picks, I figured may as well do the same thing. And, it's basically, like, why not just like also like why not make a happy episode where we talk about our favorites winning things and
hell yeah.
like we talked about earlier, there's been enough like bad shit in wrestling lately, so happy episode. And also I can humble brag about being at this match. So
okay, yeah, good thing to brag about, honestly.
This is like one of the most electric matches I've ever attended because like the crowd, and it really does come across on TV too. So I don't think it's something you had to be there for. But like the crowd like was so into this final. Like the moment the match is like even about to happen, everybody's just like fucking going crazy. And both guys had tons of fans in the building who wanted to see their guy pull this one out. So like the atmosphere was incredible. I was sitting up in the balcony, like on the I think in the first or second row of the balcony, and we were sitting right next to a bunch of Japanese Bullet Club fans pulling for Kenny, and they basically looked at me and my LIJ stuff, but being a white person, as like a traitor. Like that was the vibe I got. They looked at me like they see a white person coming and they think I'm going to be a Kenny Omega fan, and they were not happy with me cheering for Naito. So that was the vibe I always got from them. But yeah.
You gotta stand by your like truth though, and you're on the correct side of history, personally speaking. Yeah,
I mean, what are you gonna do? But yeah, so the crowd is very like it's a very split crowd, which is one of the reasons why I love this match so much, because like the crowd is just so into both guys and they're so into cheering their guy and booing the other guy, so it really makes for a very unique atmosphere, much more than the previous year, which we covered the 2016 match about a month or so back, and like that crowd is much more just behind Naito, but at this point Kenny's got way more of his fans in the building. Before the match,
that helps, honestly. Like, I mean, that is what we're saying, is that it helps that Kenny has it here. But like, I remember like at the time being annoyed. I was like, why these people need to appreciate Naito more? Because I am that type of irrational wrestling fan when it's happening live. But going back to it ever since, I'm like, yeah, this would have sucked if people were just booing Kenny the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're very much really into Kenny. So
yeah, he was like really hot at the time, right? This was before his title run, though.
Yeah.
So
this is right. I mean, he's coming off losing, or not losing, the 60-minute draw with Okada at Dominion, and then he just finally beat Okada in that G1 match the night before. I think he was the
ball. So this was like peak Kenny, honestly. And I honestly like, I think in terms of like match quality, probably pretty up there too. I think like this match in particular kind of shows that he was like really at the top of his game during this like.
I don't know if you agree with me on this hot take. I've always thought the Naito Kenny matches were way better than the Kenny Okada matches. But
I think I'm kind of on that, but I think that like sometimes the Naito Kenny matches stress me out too much because they like Ishii and Shibata, they try to kill each other. It wasn't this match in particular, but there's one with like a neck breaker through a table that Naito loves to do that went like, I think he did it on an announce table or something, and it looked really gnarly. It just stressed me out for the entire match. This one doesn't have as much of that.
Yeah.
Thankfully. It does have a lot of mean neck breakers, which I always love, but
yeah. I mean, there is something
I like. Just to say about the Okada thing, I do kind of think I prefer the Okada Kenny like story, quote unquote. I think that they like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking about it more now, actually. And they got pretty self-indulgent towards the end.
Yeah.
The early ones were so good, though. I really liked the match that went to the draw.
Oh, really? I didn't love that one. We talked about.
I liked it. I remember really liking it at the time.
Yeah.
Though I'm sure, actually, going back, if you looked for my tweets, you'd probably find me bitching about Kenny losing or something, because I was cringy as fuck.
Well, we all have our past.
I was
past
deep
games.
into my, like, Okada needs to stop winning so much bag for a while, and it's really embarrassing, because I love that dude now.
Yeah. I'm glad. I think he does. I think he did need a break from the title. It's good that he's getting one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, so before the match even starts, there's a great moment where, like, Kenny, he's fucking aiming his finger gun at Naito, and Naito, like, basically notices this and, like, puts his eyeball right up to the gun, like, really bitch. And it's such a great,
it's so good.
It's such a great moment because he's basically, like, daring him. It's like, go ahead and fire your finger gun, you fucking dork.
Naito's really good at making his opponents look silly.
Yes.
It's his primary skill, and it is why I love him so much.
Yeah, he is definitely very good at that. The Kenny fans get, like, very, very mad at Naito and he won't lock up with him to start. And it's like, hello, is this your first day here? Like, this is what he does in every match?
Have you ever wrestled this? You've wrestled him before. Wait, he's definitely wrestled Naito before, too.
Yeah, and I'm like, why are the Kenny fans getting, like, so outraged about this? I'm like, you have to have seen a Naito match before. I don't know what to tell you. But they're very angry. And then Kenny does the same thing back to him, which then gets the Naito fans to boo Kenny. And it's like,
really good.
Well, that's good, but, like, now I kind of feel like my fellow Naito fans are being a little hypocritical here. Like, come on, we have to stand up for anyone's right to not lock up.
I don't know. I agree. I agree that we as a people need to respect the right to not lock up.
I agree.
However, I do think Kenny looked really funny after he did it, because I think right after he does the eye taunt, and it looks like the way he's contorting his face is so weird.
Oh yeah, he looks like the biggest dork of all time. Like that's my exact note here. It says Kenny rips off Naito's eye pose and manages to look like the biggest dork of all time in the process. So makes a very Kenny face, and people have seen Kenny Omega know what I'm talking about. There's a cool little exchange where Naito, like, uses Kenny's own momentum against him to toss him out of the ring by his hair, and then does, like, the Tranquilo fake out dive, which Kenny really flinches for, like, over the top flinches, like, puts his arms up like, this man is about to dive on me. And it's like, again, buddy, you've wrestled this man before, like, what are you doing? But, yeah, they both end up on the floor where Kenny hits a young Japanese woman in the front row with a gate, it looks like, and apologizes, so good for him. And then he hits Naito with a moonsault after he leaps onto the railing. They end up on the apron, and then Naito hits this, like, really nice sweep kick from inside the ring, and these two brutal neck breakers. Like, you just brought up the neck breakers. Like, there's so much, like, vitriol on, like, all the neck breakers in this match. It's really good. Like, one is on the apron, and the other one is from the apron to the floor. And, like, the one from the apron to the floor especially just looks like he kills him.
Yeah, it's so fucking brutal.
Yeah.
I also thought the moonsault off the barricade there. Oh no, I'm getting this mixed up with something else. I got this mixed up with another match. I thought someone looks like they hurt their ankles, one of their ankles later, and it does not come up, and I was just worried about them the entire time, but it wasn't in this match. My bad.
Okay. So they trade strikes, and then Naito takes back over in the ring. There's an awesome spot where he teases the Tranquilo fake-out dive again, but he, like, lands like he's going to lay down and rolls through the fake-out and gets right back up and hits the tope suicida for real. It's a fake-out!
It's really good!
Yeah.
I lost my shit when I saw that. Also, just, like, the speed with which he moves through the roll to get to the actual dive is just like, man, this man's scrambling right now.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, Naito does a great job of selling almost like when he actually cares, I guess. And I guess you could tell he actually cares here.
Yeah. That is kind of the problem with him.
Yeah. He follows up with this, like, crazy pile driver, which I honestly can't tell. I mean, I don't think they were supposed to do it like this. I think they just kind of fell off the table, and it ended up being a pile driver off the table to the floor when it was supposed to be a pile driver on the table, and I can't tell if Kenny's seriously hurt if he's just selling, but I think he probably did bang his head on the railing or something. It looked pretty brutal. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. There's, again, like I said, these guys are, like, they're very ambitious with what they want to do when they wrestle each other, especially with this sort of spot, and, like, it always ends in something that I find very, like, I'm very into, both just like from an aesthetics perspective and also from a wrestling storytelling perspective. Like, oh, these guys are murdering each other. The classic story of wrestling you'll find. But like, I'm kind of glad Kenny left New Japan so Naito doesn't die in a match with him sometime.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely
they
felt
enable each other.
It definitely felt like that was the direction we were going. So, you know. Back in the ring, Naito hits a German suplex hold for 2. He gets the combination cabron in the corner. I can't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. But Kenny, like, kind of kicks his way out of it by, like, just propelling Naito up in midair when he tries that last, like, you know, outside in kick, which is great. It's a great little counter. And then the Kenny fans try to fire him up with the dorky Terminator clapping. Which, you know, I never not hated. And then it kind of works, though, because he takes control with chops and a running backbreaker, and the Naito fans come back with their own big chant, and it, you know, really does feel like you're at a fucking football game or something, you know?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It is one of those, like... one of the reasons why I got into New Japan was because the crowd, when it's like this, is so sick, and like I think that is like not a thing that's uncommon in other promotions. Like the crowd can really enhance it for people, but it is my specific style of like crescendo building, and this match is really good at it. Just like everything about the presentation is really good. I managed to watch this match with Don Callis on commentary and not notice. Because everything else was so good.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what else I can say.
I watched the Japanese. I definitely watched the Japanese.
I should have done that.
Yeah.
I should
have. Kenny, like, basically stays on him from here and hits, like, this huge backdrop that looks pretty nice. And then the Naito fans, you know, again start chanting loudly for him again. And then Naito starts firing backward strikes. Kenny catches him on one, hits the You Can't Escape Finley roll. But Naito... because Kenny announces what he's doing when he yells that you can't escape, Naito is ready for the moonsault and, like, stops him on the second rope. Why more people can't, like, recover the counter? Like, he tells you what he's doing! Anyway, so he hits this awesome neckbreaker, again with the neckbreakers, where he leaps off the second rope. So he's on the rope, Kenny's on the turnbuckle, Naito jumps off the rope, grabs his head in midair, and then brings him down to the mat. Looks awesome. So
it's really sick.
Yeah. Then there's like another. He hits the cabron thing for on the second attempt, just as we hit the 15-minute mark. Kenny comes back with a nice standing Rana, and then he does the Terminator dive with the Young Bucks, unfortunately leading the crowd and clapping.
I will say credit to this match for not having much Young Bucks involvement. I always worry about that in New Japan, even though that wasn't as much of a thing towards the end with them.
Yeah.
It's still
they kind of stayed in Ring of Honor a lot towards the end. So
yeah, good. And I'm glad they did.
Naito comes back with this gigantic swingy DDT, like. Oh, actually, I missed something. So after the Terminator dive, he does this big missile dropkick back in the ring, which is a great missile dropkick by Kenny. Have to give the gamers due. And then there's a great sequence where Naito tries to come back, and they both like duck each other's strikes, and it ends with Kenny just like dumping him right on his head with the deadlift German, which looks sick as hell. And then Naito finally comes back with the gigantic swinging DDT, kicking off the ropes after he moved out of the way of a V-trigger and like tried his own German suplex, but Kenny landed on his feet. So it was an awesome little sequence. And then he set Kenny up on the top rope for the top rope Rana, but Kenny just drops down to the mat and then in one motion like fucking shoves Naito by his ass, right into the turnbuckle. It looks brutal. I'm just like, he looks like he could have broken his fucking neck.
Yeah, it's fucked. Like, it's a really good spot because, like, as far as I'm aware, nobody got hurt from it. But, like, it's another fucking stressful thing that these two men are doing to each other.
I mean, it's a pretty sick spot. I'm moving my microphone over because can you hear this music outside? These people are very loud.
No, I can't hear it.
Well, that's good.
So hopefully it's not coming.
Hopefully it's not coming in. Yeah.
But if it is, we got background music.
We got background music. So Naito. So where am I now? Okay, so he just pushed his ass into the turnbuckle. That's right. And then Kenny follows it up with a snap half Nelson suplex, and then the V trigger. But Naito kicks out just as we get the 20-minute call. Kenny tries to hit a powerbomb on Naito, but Naito turns it into a snap DDT in midair, which looks amazing. Really great spot, honestly. And then Kenny, he fights his way out of Naito's first attempt at Gloria, so Naito hits his awesome Enziguri, which I wish he would do that more nowadays. Maybe he just can't, maybe his knee can't, do it the leap anymore, but his Enzuigiris are awesome. Hits this huge diving forearm, which is another move he doesn't do as much anymore, and Kenny takes this enormous bump for, and then Naito does hit Gloria, which Kenny, of course, lands right on his neck for, but then Kenny counters the Destino into the reverse Gonzo bomb, where he just drops Naito right on his fucking neck again, and it's these two men have a death wish.
They do, but I would be lying if I didn't think it was sick as hell.
Yeah,
it looked fucking gnarly, but it was a really cool spot. Naito, I'm sorry for enjoying watching you die.
Then we got a really infamous spot. So Kenny and Naito are up on the top rope, and Kenny just very quickly DDTs Naito's fucking face into the post. Now I can tell you, in the building, we all thought this was a fuck up, and they just slipped and nearly died, which is why it gets very little reaction. We could not tell that it was actually something they were intending to do. When watching it back on tape, I'm 90% sure they did hit the move exactly as they intended. They're idiots. Yeah. They're complete morons for doing this fucking move, but they intended to do this move. But it's not a great... It
works on camera, I think. But, it really does feel weird when everyone's just kind of huh?
Yeah, in the building, it was we all thought they fucked up and almost died. That was basically what it looked like to us. So, yeah, not a great move because it doesn't get much of a reaction, but probably hurt like fucking hell. So, I'm glad they never did that one again. Kenny then tries to follow up with a powerbomb at the top, but Naito turns it into a Rana in midair, and that looked cool as hell. One of the best mid-air Rana counters probably of all time. It was just such a cool counter. We hit the 25-minute mark. Naito hits the top rope reverse Rana on Kenny, but Kenny kicks out.
Was that the one that landed kind of awkward?
Yeah, he just lands right on his neck.
Yeah, that one looked rough.
Yeah. Naito heads up top and goes for the Stardust Press, but Kenny rolls out of the way, and Naito should have learned his lesson on that before going for it at the Dome January 4th also.
Yeah. He's a slow learner.
Well, he didn't learn it at all, because he did it again in 2020, and at least he fucking hit it this time.
Yeah. It's true, actually. He did not learn his fucking lesson. He just got proven right.
Yeah. But not a slow learner, just not a learner at all. Then Kenny hits the double Icon. Kenny hits the double underhook power driver for 2. He hits 2 straight V triggers, but Naito blocks the third, but Kenny fights through and then hits it anyway because God forbid he missed a chance to hit a knee.
I will say, I think it's at this point there's one knee that's they're shooting it basically. From Naito's eye level almost, and the way you see Kenny's knee just hit his head and the way Naito sells it is fucking sick. In both definitions of the word.
And then Kenny hits this deadlift Dr. Bomb for a really, really close near fall, and the crowd is absolutely losing their shit now with a gigantic Naito chant. Kenny hits yet another V trigger, but then unfortunately they have their one little mess up down the stretch. Naito is supposed to be reversing the one-winged angel attempt right after that into a reverse Rana, but they don't pull it off as smoothly as they would like to. It looks like Kenny kind of stumbles and they go over awkwardly. It's not a disaster by any stretch, but I'm sure it was not what they intended. So Naito then hits the Destino, but Kenny kicks out too. He tries another Destino, but Kenny blocks and tries to pull him in for the one-winged angel. And they turns it into what I think he calls the Kreutz Wrath. That the delayed German suplex. So that's kind of cool.
I love that move.
It is a really cool move.
That's sick as hell. I remember, I think when I first watched this, I was like, oh, Kenny's winning. He hit Kreutz Wrath.
Yeah.
He got to hit his old move. That means he's winning.
Then he hits it's the Rainmaker wind up into the V trigger. Then yet another, what a dork.
Sorry.
What a dork. And then he hits another V trigger and then goes for the One Winged Angel again. But Naito turns it into the Destino of midair and absolutely drops him on his fucking head. That was so sick. Both men are now down. We get the double knockout tease, which who knows what happens to the G1 climax if there's a double knockout.
Third place gets it. They have to determine a match between the two losers.
And Tanahashi Okada.
Yeah. Oh, great. God. I can't give Geto any ideas. I can't.
And then, so that was fucking crazy. Both men are now down. They get the double knockout, like I just said. And then they both get back up. There's a chop and forearm exchange. It's a little oddly placed here for me. I kind of wish they had just kept up the super crazy, exciting closing stretch until the finish instead of stopping for the strike exchange. But Naito does... It
doesn't really, suit what they're doing either. I think, you can make an argument for it to fit the pacing of the story of the match or whatever, but the pacing they've set has basically just been, we are trying to, we are giving our biggest shot every time, trying to take these guys out at this point in it, for sure, right? And so for them to just start throwing elbows is a little whack.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Both guys get back up, and we hit after the chop and forearm exchange, Naito eventually just starts slapping Kenny in the face, which I can always appreciate that. So there you go. Kenny counters with 2 more V triggers. Naito counters a third attempt with the rolling savate kick, and then I think that's what that's called. And then he hits a dragon suplex for 2. He goes for Destino again, but Kenny fights him off again. Naito hits another one without the full wind-up, but Kenny kicks out again. And then finally, Naito hits another one with the full wind-up, and that's enough for the pin and his second G1 Climax victory. And boy, was I going crazy in the building. I bet. I was going nuts watching this at home at 4 a.m. I can't even imagine being there in person. Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Anyway, this was so nice too, as the long-suffering Naito fan.
Yeah.
Because it always kind of felt like he wasn't going to get another fun G1 win, and I always wanted that because the first one sucked so much.
Yeah.
I think that the tournament he won was kind of fun, but I thought the victory itself was clearly not what he wanted.
Yeah. My thoughts on the actual match have always stayed the same, and I've watched it a bunch of times. I absolutely love it. There's a few very minor flaws that keep me from going the full 5. Mainly, Kenny's V-trigger spam gets a little annoying at times, it really wasn't in their previous match in 2016, which that one I do go 5 on, the 2016 match.
Okay.
I wish they hadn't done the weird little strike exchange, like I said, and the whole thing does feel a tiny bit excessive at times. Plus, there's that one little kind of bloated spot, but it's still an outstanding fucking match. So I'm still 4 3/4, which I think has been my rating every time I've watched this. So
yeah, I don't think I disagree with you there. I mean, I personally, like I say, I'm very loose with my 5s. I might give this one a 5 or a 4. I don't know. I'm kind of waffling in between now, keeping them on their toes. But there is no question that this is one of the it is not their best match, but is one of their more fun matches that they've had, I think.
Yeah. I think it's weird. The 3 matches, I love all 3 of them, but it's almost an exact ranking of the first one's the best, second one is second best, and then the 2018 one is third best, which we'll have to cover on here.
I 100% agree.
We'll have to cover that one on here someday soon to complete the trilogy, I guess, which I'm sure we will. But yeah, it's just an awesome trilogy of matches. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Naito, after the match, in one of the greatest moments in New Japan history, grabs the G1 trophy and teases he's going to throw it into the crowd.
I would have lost my mind if he did.
I can tell you from watching, and I was in the balcony, so I could see the people in the crowd as he's doing this, and these fucking people really thought Naito was about to murder them. They like, they ducked for fucking cover. Like, they jumped backwards. They, like, put their arms up. They were like, this motherfucker is tossing this trophy. They completely bought it. So, look.
I love that. I'm so happy.
He's thrown enough title belts. It's psychology, okay?
For sure.
Wrestling psychology. He's thrown so many title belts that they no longer put it past him.
Oh my god.
Like, they really did, like, duck for cover. Like someone was about to throw this damn trophy. It was great. And then,
what a king.
What a king. And then Chodo comes over, the original, heel badass, and he does the LIJ fist bump with him afterwards, which is so great. So, another great moment. But yeah, just an amazing moment, amazing match. Love Tetsuya Naito. And Kenny Omega, you had a good match, buddy. Good for you. I hope your game that night was extra gamey.
Hope you won all of your Street Fighter rounds.
Or fucking Players Unknown Battlegrounds, whatever the fuck he plays.
I don't know what he plays anymore.
Match number 3, your second pick, Hiromu Takahashi versus Ryusuke Taguchi from New Japan. March 6, 2017, at the anniversary show. It is the second defense of Hiromu's first junior title reign. He won the belt from Kushida at Wrestle Kingdom 11 in January, and then he defended against Dragon Lee at New Beginning in Osaka. So this is defense number 2. I guess go ahead and tee this up. Why'd you pick this one?
I picked this one for a couple of reasons. One, first and foremost, is I love Ryusuke Taguchi when he is in a position to actually, like, wrestle a serious match. I think he's one of those guys where he's never going to be... I'm never going to make a case for him being, like, one of the best junior wrestlers ever or anything, no matter how much I want to. But, like, I think that he is a dude that's sneaky good and sneaky underrated. Because he is such a comedy guy now, and he is basically he's the coach now, especially. But, like, there's that, and I think he does a really good job in this, especially helping to establish Hiromu, which goes into my second thing, which is this is really early Hiromu, and I find it so interesting. Because this is, like, pre-Daryl, pre all the cat stuff, so he's kind of, like... I find his character really interesting. Some of it feels like Naito light at times, and then it also sometimes just feels like, oh yeah, now this is Hiromu being the time bomb, and I like this because it is sort of, personally speaking, I think it's like a good stepping stone on him becoming like the face of that junior division and figuring out his like style and how he wants to like present himself.
Right.
And I think they both do a great job in this. I think Taguchi does a really good job at establishing Hiromu as like this new heel coming in, like he's the top of the division already. Yes, he had like a really good match with Kushida and stuff, but it's like, is he gonna lose this belt like right after having won defense or whatever? And they give him like Taguchi, who's like a reliable guy, and they get this really fun, like really enjoyable match out of it. And it's just something I've always, like, this is like a comfort food match for me, you know?
Right. I like what you point out about Hiromu's character. It's really funny seeing him now. You know, this is only 3 years ago, but, like, he looks so different here. And it's, like, a much more heelish Hiromu who's, like, you know, as he's making his entrance, he's doing, like, this cocky, like, half strut that he doesn't really do at all now. And it's just much more, like, he's still a weirdo, but he's, like, a cocky weirdo, as opposed to the more wacky weirdo of today, I guess, is the best way I can put it.
He feels much more, like, dangerous on purpose. Right. As opposed to, like, reckless, which is what Hiromu's vibe is now when he's doing his, like, high-risk stuff. At least that's how I look at it.
Right.
And I think it's fun to, like, it is one of those things where it's, like, I love watching, like, any dude when they come back from excursion, like, early on. Like, remember El Desperado when he came out and gave Kota Ibushi flowers? No one else does but me. But it's like, it is nice to sort of figure out like what stuff they kept for those characters and what stuff they like immediately grow out of. And with Hiromu, like, I feel like his wrestling didn't need to change that much. It was just his mannerisms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, he basically had to just like, you know, go from being super cocky to being super wacky. So
yeah.
Taguchi comes out like wearing sunglasses, a Taguchi Japan rally towel, and a Samurai Japan baseball rally towel.
Oh, good.
It's like, what a legend.
King!
They start out with like Taguchi trying to get a takedown and trying to get the ankle hold, and that's basically the theme of the entire match. But Hiromu avoids him and rolls out of the ring. Taguchi baits him with his jacket, which is kind of funny. Like, he's just like...
Really good.
He's like, come get your damn jacket. And like almost gets the ankle lock. And we do like a lot of running around. And Hiromu hits Taguchi with his own hip attack. And, just kind of feels like a dick move. It's like, hitting with butts is his thing. Like, come on, let him have this.
Come on.
He tries...
And Hiromu would understand how that feels when Will Ospreay started doing the cat stuff.
That's true. Hiromu then tries the sunset flip powerbomb to the floor from the apron, but Taguchi blocks it with his ass. Like, such a great
It's really good, okay? Taguchi, I'm going to talk about Taguchi's ass really quick.
Okay.
The reason why I love Taguchi's ass as a weapon is because Taguchi does not have an ass. This man has the boniest ass in the world, and that's why it hurts when he hits you with it. Indeed. It is like being stabbed by two very blunt weapons. Those are each of his butt cheeks, by the way, the two blunt weapons.
Wow.
You know what? I don't blame Hiromu for not being able to do the sunset flip. That I wouldn't be able to if something crashed into me with that velocity.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a deadly weapon. But yeah, so then he hits a hip attack from the apron to the floor, and then he has his ass-based control period, as you could call it, where he just keeps beating him with his butt.
I'm gonna steal that phrase for something.
Hiromu comes back and locks him in a half Boston Crab. Taguchi's selling here is honestly a little over the top, but that's Taguchi in general. I gotta make sure the people in the cheap seats can see it.
He's very he is a very much a pantomime wrestler, but that's part of why I like him, is because I say earlier, I don't like guys who make faces, but I like Taguchi because he makes faces with his whole body. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Taguchi comes back with even more hip attacks. He tries the ankle hold again. Hiromu quickly crawls to the ropes, and then he finally does get the ankle lock, but it just kind of... Hiromu rolls his way out of it to escape, and it's this big pop-up powerbomb, which is a cool spot.
Yeah.
They end up on the second rope where Hiromu hits that... I don't know what the hell it's called. Do you know what it's called? That weird, powerbomb looking, but also, leg rana thing. He hits out of the corner. God. I'm so bad with move names, so I don't know this one.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
I don't have it.
It's awesome. That's what it is.
It is very sick.
I've seen him hit the move smoother than he did here, but it's still, even when it's not perfect, it still looks pretty sick. We suddenly end up in a surprisingly fiery slap exchange, which it almost... all of a sudden, this almost seems like they're fucking channeling Shibata Ishii out of nowhere.
Yeah!
They start slapping each other. Taguchi wins the slap exchange and starts kicking away him in the corner and slap at him more. It's quite the crazy turn of events. It's did I just switch matches? I don't understand.
There's some really good moments of Taguchi just sort of turning it on in here. That's one of them, I think, particularly. There's some good stuff with when he's trying to get the ankle lock on and trying to grapple with Hiromu. I find that he's really good at that too.
Yeah.
And then also he does his ass shenanigans to balance it out. What else do you want?
Indeed. The slaps continue even after both get back to their feet, and then Taguchi pulls Hiromu down puts Hiromu down with a big drop kick, which he sells by collapsing to his knees, which is great. It's almost like he's a defeated samurai in a fucking play or something. Where
it's one of my favorite parts of this match. It's so dramatic.
Yeah.
Just the way that he crumbles. It's great.
And then Taguchi hits him with the Dodon, but Hiromu kicks out. Taguchi immediately transitions to the ankle hold, almost like he was expecting a kick out, which is kind of cool. And Hiromu, which makes sense because Hiromu at this point, the whole thing was he was in ultimate unbeatable mode in the division.
Yeah.
Because he would, after this he would beat. A month later, he beats Kushida in 2 minutes. So,
God,
yeah.
I almost picked that one, but I wanted to give us. I picked a really short match for my first one, so I wanted to pick something that was over 15 minutes.
Right. But Taguchi, anyway, so he lets him out and then tries him with the Dodon, but Hiromu lands on his feet, goes for his own ankle hold, but Taguchi counters with the enzigiri and that release suplex where you do the front suplex but just throw the guy down, which looks great. Hiromu comes back with an overhead belly to belly in the corner, which looks brutal. And then that weird quasi time bomb, but not the time bomb setup move. I always forget the name of it.
Is that the like it's like something plunger or something?
Yeah, dynamite plunger.
Right.
I think.
I always get it mixed up with time bomb too.
Yeah.
When I had to rewind the first time I watched this because I was like, wait, didn't he just hit the time bomb?
Yeah, the English announcers do too. I'm glad he doesn't do that move as much anymore, and I'm glad because it's like it was way too similar to time bomb.
It's really confusing, and especially now that he has that variation of the time bomb, like I think it would just muddy things up way too much.
Yeah. He does the charge in the corner, carrying Taguchi, the fireman's carry. Yeah, that move rules. He goes for the time bomb, but Taguchi counters into an ankle lock. And there's an awesome spot where, like, so Hiromu looks like he's gonna get out of it again. So Taguchi fucking gets an armbar takedown, and then he uses that to transition right back to the ankle lock when the ankle's open. It's like fucking shoot grappling from Ryusuke
so
Taguchi.
Good. Like, I love whenever he busts out the wrestling. Like, whenever Taguchi is like, oh yeah, I know how to actually grapple, I like fangirl.
He's like,
I can't help it.
He's like,
it's so much fun.
I'm a clown because I want to be a clown, not because I can only be a clown. That's basically Ryusuke Taguchi.
It's like, seriously, it's like it is the same as when like Yano does something that's actual wrestling, you know?
Yeah, which that happens rarer now, but
that's much rarer.
We get the longest ankle lock struggle of the match, and then Hiromu accidentally taps the mat twice, which you could sure as hell call a tap out, but thankfully Red Shoes doesn't, which I thought was kind of funny.
He taps it once and then pauses and like just as a normal style, and then he does the double tap like right after.
Like, sir, really weird. You're tapping out here. But anyway. Taguchi goes to the Dodon again, but Hiromu looks to be blocking it, so he turns it into this huge release tiger suplex. He just fucking tosses him. It's great. Mm-hmm. Hiromu no-sells it and drops him with his own German suplex, which Taguchi no-sells and destroys Hiromu with a huge lariat for two. Again, almost channeling Ishii Shibata here. Taguchi gets Hiromu up into the Argentine backbreaker position and then tries to turn it into a Dodon from there. But Hiromu rolls through with a Japanese leg roll clutch for two, which that was an awesome looking counter. And then he hits these three straight like glancing super kicks as Taguchi keeps trying to run into him, and then hits his own huge lariat for 2 count, and then finally hits the fireman's carry charge into the corner for a second time, and then the time bomb for the pin. So yeah, this match fucking rules.
It's so fun.
It's very charming early on, even when maybe you could say there isn't a ton happening. But the finishing stretch is just incredible. I mean, they really bust out all sorts of shit, even stuff you're not even remotely expecting from Taguchi.
Yeah,
I would go 4.5. I really love this match.
Yeah, I like, again, I think personally, like, in my heart, this is a 5 for a Sylvi match, but like, if I'm being objective, 4.5 sounds right.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy that novelty at the beginning of seeing Taguchi like go from like he's doing his shtick at the beginning a little, and then he just is immediately into like serious wrestler mode, and he's doing more of that, like, I don't want to say like he's not like a mat work guy. He's just doing like fun submission stuff, but maybe I'm being reductive. But I really like the grappling that he does bust out. Like, this isn't ever gonna like blow my mind, but there are, like, you mentioned that part where he goes for the ankle lock, switches into the arm bar, and then goes back to the ankle lock. Like,
it's really
that
good.
was fun as hell.
Yeah.
That's so sick. Like, Zack Sabre Jr. who, you know?
Yeah.
But like,
it's a really cool spot.
So it's one of those matches that like Hiromu, when he first came in, I liked him because I thought he was cute, and this was the match where I was like, oh, this guy's like actually gonna be something like fucking incredible if he's pulling out matches like this with like a dude that at the time I did not have the strong feelings about that I do now.
Yeah.
And now I'm a Taguchi stan for life, and if anyone has a problem with that, they can fight me about it.
Indeed. I mean, I always loved Taguchi. It really, it annoys me when people get very, like, dismissive of him. And it's like, no, he's had really awesome matches, and he can always do it when he feels like it.
Yeah.
Look, he loves his bum. I mean...
It's not like... It's not his role to do that.
Yeah.
Like, he's not so... Like, it's the type of people who are like, well, if you're not going out and having a match to get 5 stars, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe wrestling is supposed to be funny sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. People get very mad at Taguchi. I don't really get it. But anyway, Taguchi's awesome. He showed it again here. Our next match, this was my second pick. Tetsuya Naito versus Hirooki Goto from New Japan on March 12, 2016. I just figured, why not watch Naito win another tournament? And I also remembered liking it, but I didn't remember. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I thought it'd be fun to see if it holds up. But yeah, it's from the New Japan Cup 2016 final, which obviously Naito won, and then went on to win his first IWGP Heavyweight title. Which, again, not to humble brag again, but I was there for that as well. So that was pretty cool. Did I lose you? Oh no, you're here.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But if apparently, like I've always said, if I just lived in Japan, Naito would never lose, because every time I go there, he wins something.
Okay, so we're sending you over for all of his title defenses.
I guess so. Except I can't get in the country right now, so because they're like, yeah, America, you're a hot mess, which is fair.
God. Like, wait, no. Wait till he beats Okada's record.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the match starts with like Goto controlling Naito early on after the initial stall session, which he goes to the chin lock a little too fast for my liking, so that's not great. But Naito does make the ropes pretty quickly. Goto keeps stomping away at him, which even draws some light boos, which is interesting because he clearly was the more like at this point in Naito's career, Tokyo loves him. Like, as you'll see if you watch Invade Attack, Tokyo was like, that crowd was almost 100% behind Naito. But the rest of Japan has not caught up yet, and there's still, like, there's some fans that love him, but there's still some fans that are treating him like a heel. So, which is what he is.
Yeah.
But, like, there's still some fans, like, who are not, like, 100% behind him like Tokyo is. So, I'd say more of these fans like Goto than Naito. The Naito fans do make themselves heard a few times. But yeah, it's just a little... Like, Goto getting booed here is a little rare for the match. Naito...
Yeah, because Goto was just coming off of losing at New Beginning, right?
Yes, and we'll talk about what happens at the end of this match. So Goto getting cheered would become a rare thing for a while, unfortunately. I don't know how you feel about Goto. I love Goto.
I have mixed feelings about Goto. It is really hard for me to take him seriously at this point.
Well, that's definitely true.
Like, he's kind of a goofball to me, and that is kind of leaked into his old matches too. Because I just remember, like, being, like, on Twitter with people at this time being like, well, yeah, Goto chokes. That's what he does. And that... no spoilers, but hey, guess what? He choked again. I do like him, though. Like, I think the thing with Goto is I've always liked him more as an undercard guy. I've always liked him more in, like, those never matches and, like, the IC title stuff, too, which, like, is very, like, shitty wrestling fan armchair booking, whatever. But I find that he tends to excel in those spots as opposed to when he's trying to do these, like, longer main event matches,
Yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah.
What I would say about Goto is I think it almost like the booking sometimes. People I think make too much of the booking, and it's like, well, he's never going to be. I mean, maybe he could still get like the Nakanishi reign, like the gold watch reign. I think that's still on the cart.
Oh my God,
on the table for him. But I don't know if he did. He'll hold it for like a month. If he ever gets it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't hate that. I do like Goto, and I did want him to win that belt at one point before this all sort of happened.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the post match, which is a big deal. But so
anyway,
Naito comes back and chokes him in the corner with his boot and works him over. Nothing really interesting happens early on in this match. It's certainly a slow start, but things finally pick up a bit when Goto he takes out Naito with this huge lariat, which Naito takes a great flip bump for. And that's pretty much the unofficial starting point of the match getting good. He follows up with the running savate kick into the corner, and then a backdrop for 2, and the crowd also finally wakes up there, and there's a big Goto chant, although the Naito fans try to start chanting too. Naito reverses a Goto Irish whip into the corner, hits the combination cabron, and then he hits a German suplex for 2. There's this long fight on the top rope that's like really dramatic, really good. I mean, the crowd has the crowd screaming, and it ends with this huge superplex from Goto. But simple stuff, but really good stuff.
Yeah, I will say that is something I like about Goto is that sometimes he just gets a lot out of very simple shit.
Yeah.
And that is always something I can appreciate.
He has good physical charisma, which is funny because he doesn't have He doesn't have good promo charisma at all, but he has really good physical charisma that really draws you into spots in his matches, and he has a presence about him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and that's why I'm always gonna have a soft spot for him, and why I said I wouldn't hate it if he got that 1 month reign, but
yeah, I don't know. Some people seem to think there's no chance. I kind of think it will happen, but who knows?
I think it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, he's still not. I mean, I don't think he's as old as Nakanishi was when he won it. I could be wrong, but these kids outside are screaming. Anyway, I don't know if you can hear that either. But,
I think I might have got a little, but it's fine.
I guess nobody has anything to do in this neighborhood right now. So Goto hits a pair of Usigoroshis on Naito, who does a great job thrashing around he's trying to avoid them, which I always love it when wrestlers actually act like they're trying not to get hit by moves instead of just going up for stuff perfectly, which far too many wrestlers do, which I get it because it's probably safer, but when's that ever going to stop Naito?
Yeah. Something safety does not exist to this man.
No, not at all. He tries to follow up with the Shoten Kai, but Naito escapes and hits his swinging DDT, kicking off the ropes for leverage. Both men are down. We get a huge dueling chant again. Naito hits an Enzigiri at that huge diving forearm. He puts Goto up top and hits the top rope Rana for another 2 count. He hits Gloria for another really close near fall. He tries to go for Destino, but Goto catches him in midair, gives him another Usigoroshi, a great counter. And then he sets Naito up on the top rope and hits a top rope Usigoroshi, which that is such a sick move because he's dropping him onto his knee from the top rope. He could break his neck. But,
it's fucking brutal.
Yeah. Goto tries for the Shoten Kai again, but Naito drops down the other side of him. And there's a somewhat awkward moment here, unfortunately, where he catches Goto's leg, where it seems like they get their wires crossed, and there's a pause where no one does anything. So thankfully that it ends correctly, but you definitely have to note that's a problem in the match. Goto hits a huge headbutt, a big middle kick to a kneeling Naito. Finally gets the Shoten Kai, but Naito kicks out at 2. And that is a great fucking near fall, because they build that Shoten Kai up for the entire match to the point where, you can totally buy that as a finish, because Naito's escaped it 3 times already, and you can hear the crowd is truly stunned when Naito kicks out. The reaction for Goto hitting it is it's the finish, and the crowd they're so fucking stunned when Naito kicks out. So a perfect near fall, honestly.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. The Shoten Kai is also just a sick move, and so building up to it in that way, I think does it justice in a weird way. I like when the match sort of makes you believe that you figured out what the ending is going to be, like you said, where it's you could totally believe that, the reason they're building up to the Shoten Kai is because he's going to win with that, and then he hits it and he doesn't, and it's sick.
I mean, it's just a great near fall because it makes you think it's going to end, which is the entire point of it. Some of these near falls are okay, near falls for the sake of near falls that no one's ever going to think is the finish. But that one, I think, you definitely bought it as a finish, and the crowd sure as hell did. But yeah, and I agree. The Shoten Kai, I like it better than the GTR. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Oh, that shouldn't be a hot take. The GTR's trash.
Okay, I'm glad we agree. I don't know if I hate the GTR that much, but I definitely like the Shoten Kai better.
I like the GTR as a move. I think it's kind of a boring finisher though.
Yeah, that's fair. We get interference here as Bushi distracts the ref so Evil can attack Goto. This was during the brief era when LIJ was running in on Naito's matches. It would pretty much come to an end at Dominion, which is kind of funny because it's when Naito loses the title back to Okada the first time he actually tries to fight clean in the LIJ character. You'd think he would go right back to cheating, but I don't think they ever interfere again. I think that's it. So, I guess it was just a brief little.
I
error
wonder
of
if
interference
that
here.
was them like quickly realizing like the momentum behind this group is such that trying to make them these like cheating all the time heels is a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of always the vibe I got. Like it just kind of was gonna. I mean that they transitioned very quickly into like the, the true neutral. So. Where like
they became new Chaos real quick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean they took Chaos's place when Chaos just became the same great taste, but with different packaging for the New Japan Army. That's pretty much it.
It's so funny that Chaos is still considered a group.
Yeah, honestly. I mean they even team with them now. It's like, what is the point? I've ranted about that on the show a million fucking times. There's no, it's very stupid. Anyway. So, after the interference, the interference doesn't take that much away from me because it's very quick and Goto fights them both off. He goes back to Naito and tries in a Shotenkai, but Naito counters in the Destino in midair, which all the midair Destino counters always look awesome, and this one is no.
It's like the Destino is one of those moves that is like perfectly made just to counter shit, and that's why I love it so much. Because it's when Naito manages to pull that out of nowhere, I like lose my mind. It's pure serotonin.
Yeah, it's always great. They get back up to a kneeling position and start trading elbows. Goto wins that fight, as you probably expect, and he's the big mean striker man. But Naito counters by just slapping him right in the face when they both get back to their feet. He slaps him a second time, but then Goto hits a headbutt. He tries a big lariat, but Naito ducks and hits a dragon suplex. Goto no-sells it and gets right back up. There's a lot of that going around on this episode. But Naito just hits him with the Destino for the pin. I like the really sudden nature of the finish. It almost feels like, Goto had his last little burst when he no-sold the dragon suplex, but that was it. He just was a big, tough guy, but he got caught.
Yeah.
So it definitely works. This is it's not a classic or anything. The early portion is very slow. I think you have to take off points for that. Also for the weird botch and a couple other spots that don't look as smooth as they could. But as usual for a big New Japan match, the closing stretch really saves it. And the theme of Goto's power versus Naito's speed and technique is always a good one. They almost always have great matches together. Except that one G1 match in 2018. That was not good.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
But I agree that they do usually have pretty good matches together.
But yeah, this is 4 stars flat for me. Really good match. Not quite the level of some of the other stuff on this show, but definitely still good.
I feel like I'm being very boring by just agreeing with your ratings, but that tracks. That this is the 3 stars is too mean to this. This is just the perfect 4-star match. It is good, not great.
Yeah, I would say great, not super excellent. That's probably more like what I'm thinking of 4. Unfortunately, after this match, Okada comes out and saves Goto, and Goto joins Chaos, which one of the worst storylines New Japan ever did. Because to recap, Hirooki Goto, he beat Okada finally in the 2015 G1 in the big Intercontinental vs. Heavyweight Champion match. After Okada beat his ass a fucking million times before that. He beats him to retain the title in 2012. He beats him in the 2013 New Japan Cup final. He probably beats him more, and I'm not even remembering. But he just beats this motherfucker over and over again. Goto finally beats him in the big champion versus champion match. Before he loses the Intercontinental title back to Nakamura. And then he gets he waits 6 months to get his heavyweight title shot. He finally gets it at New Beginning in Osaka. He makes a big deal, how that he's not going to choke like he always chokes. He fucking goes under the waterfall. He paints himself in kanji, and then he just loses. So, and then after he loses, Okada's like, hey, now that I've made you my bitch again, how about you join Chaos? And then Goto's like, let me think about it. And then here, a month later, he loses again in the final of the New Japan Cup. And then he's like, you know what, Okada? I guess I am a big enough loser to be your number 2. Let's shake on it. And this storyline was so stupid that, he went from a consistent babyface to, the crowds booed him for, months after this. It took a long time.
He did not change his character that much either.
Yeah.
No.
Let me correct you, okay, Sylvi?
Okay,
he switched to red pants.
That's true. He did. And you know what? As far as Hirooki Goto goes, that's a pretty big change. To me, this always felt like something where they were like, "Oh yeah, eventually this will be a Shibata versus Goto thing," and it never happened.
Well, they did a match finally, I think, at
Did they?
at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, it took forever to get there, and
Because I remember they did one at 8, but it was before the turn and everything.
I think Goto beat Shibata for the Never title at Wrestle Kingdom 11.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, but the point is though, I just think it's like they were like they're still very they were still very invested in Chaos as a unit. I remember they weren't teaming with the New Japan Army, and they were like, oh well, Nakamura's gone, we need a new number 2. So I mean, but they had to pick a better way to get there than this apparently, because like it just made him look like the biggest loser. So I don't know. Poor Goto.
Yeah. They really just like chumped him out with this angle. Like killed. This is what killed his credibility for me. Honestly,
I think it did for a lot of people.
This is probably what did it.
But I mean, he doesn't get booed all the time anymore, so I guess that's good. But yeah, he got booed for like 6 months after this, I think. So it was not good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The last match we'll be talking about here is Kazuchi Sakuraba versus Katsuyori Shibata from New Japan, July 5th, 2015. This was my pick for the fan vote match. I was a little surprised it won. You had picked Suzuki Nagata from the first Wrestle Kingdom.
Both banger matches, I should say.
Yeah.
I like this match a lot, too. I was not upset that this won.
But your match was winning for a long time, and then mine pulled it out in the last 12 hours. So
damn.
But yeah, so you picking Shibata Ishii, though, made me think of another shorter Shibata match that I really love. So this is his battle with his ex-Laughter 7 tag partner. So they come in as, like I said, Laughter 7, which I guess was the name of Sakuraba's MMA gym, I believe. And they come in back in 2012 as these outsiders. They're fighting against New Japan together, but they eventually drift apart. And it's not like they ever have a big split. It just kind of ends up where Shibata ends up back in the New Japan Army when he makes up with Goto after their feud, and Sakuraba ends up this weird unofficial Chaos member. So
he tagged with Shinsuke a lot sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
and Toru Yano.
God, I forgot about that duo.
Sakuraba Yano team. But yes, he basically ended up in an unofficial Chaos member, and this is still, of course, the era where Chaos was still kind of at odds with the New Japan Army. So it just became a thing where it's of course this showdown was inevitable, and they did spend months building it, if I remember correctly. They were in tag matches against each other for 3 or 4 months before this happened. So
it feels like they spent so much time building it.
Yeah. By the way, the match before this one, which I noticed when I went on New Japan World to search for it, is I believe the first time Naito ever comes out with the Ingo Benables gimmick, which I watched.
Oh, damn!
Yeah,
okay.
Match 2 at Dominion. It's him.
Very important show.
Him and Tomoaki Hama against Bad Luck Fale and Yujiro Takahashi, which I watched it just because I was But yeah, they win the match even though Naito's being a complete dickhead to Hanma, which is kind of funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fuck Hanma.
Yeah. But the match starts with a clinch here, and they end up in the ropes where Shibata slaps Sakuraba across the face instead of giving him a clean break, which is
good.
That's such a
Sakuraba looks so mad about it too. He looks just really insulted that happened.
He's like, we were bros. What happened?
It's really good, yeah. Exactly that vibe.
Yeah. And then they trade some block kicks before ending up on the mat briefly. Neither guy can get any kind of advantage, but I love that little mat sequence. It's so good.
There's a lot of really good grappling stuff in this match between these two. There's one specifically that I'm thinking of later that we will definitely touch on, but yeah, it's the sort of mat sequence they do is really fun.
Shibata nearly takes Sakuraba's head off with a big kick, but he ducks and rolls to the floor. He baits Shibata out there and then rolls back in. Very old school heel stuff. And catches him with strikes trying to enter the ring. Shibata then fires back with elbows in the corner, but when he runs to the other side for his trademark drop kick, Sakuraba runs over and hits him with a knee to the gut, which some of these knees look brutal, and that's definitely one.
The Sakuraba's knee counter is always just it is, because he's done it. I think he did it to Shinsuke once and got him in the face or something, and it every time he does it, I explode. It's so sick.
Yeah. Shibata starts kicking the crap out of Sakuraba after he escapes a guillotine. He gets him back into the corner. He hits the elbows and then goes for the drop kick again. Easy for me to say. He gets it this time, and then he hits the second one for good measure, which he almost never does that. So I was like, wow, he must be pissed at him or something. He then gets really brutal, just like kicking and boot scraping Sakuraba repeatedly while he's down. Just like gets very angry. Sakuraba recovers. They trade slaps, and then he takes back over with the clinch again and knees in the corner. He like rips off. I don't know what he's wearing, like that weird like sock thing.
Yeah, it's like an ankle wrap or something.
Yeah, I think that's actually what it's called. He like tosses it at him, which I'm like, that's gross.
It's really funny.
It's gross and
like
funny.
Throwing your socks at someone.
Gross and funny. And he keeps kicking him while he's down, but Shibata just like keeps asking for more. So, big mood. And then Shibata tries to get up and charge at Sakuraba, but he gets met with this big counter knee right to the gut, and he rolls to the floor to escape. And then Sakuraba follows him out there with a plancha, which...
Okay. This is the thing I got mixed up with the moonsault earlier. I could have sworn that when Sakuraba landed, he like fucked his ankle up, the ankle without the brace on it now, because he like lands really weird on it, and like I don't know, but he's fine. I was just like the entire match I was watching, trying to see like, is he hurt? Because he landed really weird on that.
Yeah,
and I guess not. But
yeah, I guess he was okay. But it's not exactly what you're expecting here. It's not exactly a shoot style move, so it rules.
I like that it's kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
Because it kind of like emphasizes the fact that this is not like either of these guys' style.
Right. And then back in the ring, Sakuraba gets his signature leg hold, but Shibata makes the ropes. Sakuraba quickly follows up with a sleeper, and then he even like jumps onto Shibata's back to make him carry his weight. And then this is like one of the greatest spots of the match. Shibata reaches for the ropes with one hand. Sakuraba pulls the arm away. He reaches for the ropes with the other hand. Sakuraba pulls the other arm away. He turns it into like this like fucking standing surfboard or bow and arrow.
It's so cool.
It is so cool looking.
It is one of those it's one of those visuals that sticks with me, like the way that like from wrestling, the way that they've like sort of like filmed this like weird contortionist hold. Like it's so gnarly. I love it.
Speaking of things that or visuals that stick with you, Shibata bites the middle rope for the rope break, which fucking owns.
I realized I had started talking before you mentioned that, and I did not want to ruin that for you.
It is so great.
It's so good. Shibata's the coolest. I miss him so much.
Yeah, I do too. He suddenly levels Sakuraba with a lariat, and both guys are down again. Sakuraba then gets Shibata in a triangle, and Shibata looks to be fading, but then he suddenly revives and makes the ropes. Sakuraba stays on him with kicks, and then like catches his strike attempt and turns it into this awesome like judo-style takedown, like using his own momentum against him. And he tries to lock in a Kimura. Shibata quickly makes it to the ropes. He rolls right into it again, and Shibata gets back to his feet and then gets to the ropes again. And then when Sakuraba tries to get... I don't know what the hell I just said. When Sakuraba tries to get the hold again, he dumps him with this huge German suplex. And again, Sakuraba like tries to struggle his way out of the German, which always looks better when the wrestlers like actually look like they're not trying to go up for these moves.
Yeah.
But Sakuraba like... So he basically like I guess like no sells it and then hits this awesome like short range PK, which is again Shibata's move. So it seems almost to piss Shibata off more than anything. And then Shibata picks him up and looks to be trying to go to sleep, but Sakuraba turns it into the choke sleeper again. Shibata does an excellent job selling that he's going out here, but then he fires up, elbows his way out of it. He catches Sakuraba's kick attempt, slaps him right in the face, all in one motion, like a really quick counter slap. It's so great.
There is something about the way that Shibata slaps people that's very poetic.
Yeah.
It's really good. By that I just mean it makes a really loud noise and I clap when I hear it.
Yeah, it's great.
I think I mentioned this to a friend of mine where I was like trying to think of a good way to describe Shibata that wasn't just like bro, he's trying to like kill the person in the ring. And I came up with he is like a thunderstorm because it's like real quiet, and then when it's loud, you have to notice.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, he's the best.
So after that, basically, he puts his own sleeper on, and Sakuraba almost gets out of it before Shibata reapplies it again, and then he hits the PK for the pin. This absolutely fucking owns. If you like the more, shoot influence, realistic side of wrestling, you will love this. It's a 4.5-star match for me. I adore this match.
Yeah, it's like so much fun. I love whenever Shibata gets to wrestle like another like shoot style person. I don't know if I classify Goto as that, but whenever he's had some matches with Goto that sort of slip into that sort of like slapping the shit out of each other style. But this has that like grappling element to it that stuff doesn't get as much, and like they kill it. They just they knock it out of the park whenever there's like Sakuraba's putting a submission hold on Shibata or anything like that. It just is like sublime. I love it. I love this match.
Yeah,
I might go full 5 if I'm being real.
Well, you've been the full 5 queen of the show, so
I have 5 stars all around. I am a simple thumbs up or thumbs down rater.
But yeah, it's a great it is a great match, an excellent match. Good pick by me. Good pick.
Yeah, very good pick, and good pick by the people who voted.
Yes. Not that I don't want to see that Suzuki Nagata match too, but
that match also fucking slaps. People can just watch it on their own time, though.
That is true.
Or you should watch that match if you're listening.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen it. You've probably seen it.
Yeah. All right, folks. We can wrap it up here. Sylvie, why don't you plug your many podcasts and projects?
Yeah.
And stuff?
Well, if you wanted to hear me on more podcasts, I'm on Friends of the Table. That's friendsofthetable.net. It's a tabletop role-playing game podcast. We're doing a sci-fi season right now. It's pretty fun. You can just start at the beginning of that season if you want to check it out. It's called Partisan. I should mention that part. I also have a podcast called Emoji Drome, where we review emoji. It's as deranged as it sounds. And yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at Sylvi Surfer.
It's a great handle.
Thank you. But that's all my plugs, I think.
All right. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Omakase. Wrestling, of course, would not fit. Folks, thank you for listening. I want to send a special thank you again to the people who have made the first month of the Patreon a huge success. I greatly appreciate it. It's been more people than I ever thought would sign up for my fucking stupid Patreon. So
it's really gratifying, right? Like we had that experience with Emoji Drome, and it's like, oh, people like our stuff.
Yeah. I'm not like, I'm not exactly going to be able to buy a boat with it or anything, but like, just, I will say it's probably like double what I expected. So I really appreciate it. Thank you if you're listening to this and you've signed up. If you haven't signed up, it's www.patreon.com/wrestlingomakase. Like I said earlier, wait until July 1st to do it. Just, you don't have to pay me twice. It's totally fine. Just pay the one time, and you'll get access to all the stuff we did this month in June, all the stuff we're going to do in July. If you enjoy these 5 matches episodes, it'll be either the only place to get it in July, or we might do like one on the free feed, but they're not going to be every week anymore. So, what is the free feed going to be? Next week, we're bringing back something I had debated over and over again, whether or not to do it this year, but I kind of want to do it just to see what the results will be. Our 3rd annual mid-year awards, which should be interesting this year, since someone told me it'll be the January and February awards, but like there has been other wrestling since February. I mean, not all of it's been good, but it has existed, and it's not ethical either, but it's existed. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll do the mid-year awards. That's what we're going to do. I have a ton of guests lined up from the Voices of Wrestling network and website, so I should have had that in front of me of who's going to be on, but I don't. So it's a bunch of people. That's the answer. But yeah, so we're doing that next week. So look out for the return of the mid-year awards here on the free feed. In the meantime, thank you as always for listening, and we'll see you next time.